Here we are again with some more talking tech with a friendly tree. Today we're looking at Nina's rage mechanics in Tekken 7. So, rage is a mechanic that was introduced properly in Tekken 6, and it's something that every character has. It's pretty much the comeback factor that's been added into these games. So when you get low health, you activate rage, and you get access to different moves. So what we're going to look at first is how to activate rage, and then the different moves, the rage art and the rage drive for Nina. So rage gets activated once you reach a certain level of health. I believe it's about 20%. For practice mode you can activate it in the settings. When it activates you'll see your health bar flash red, and you'll also see this red aura. You'll see these red circles sort of burst away from the character. So that's how you know that rage is active. And it remains active until you use either a rage art or a rage drive. So this here is Nina's rage art, and this can be very useful to use for comeback. As you can see, big amount of damage. 20 frame startup, but the power crush starts on frame 20. Now rage drive, this is also very good to use, very good on block, and you have the down forward movement that you can do afterward as well. And you see that you go into a quarter circle forward, so you can do any movement from quarter circle forward that you normally could. And that's 20 frames startup. And your jump starts from frame 5 to frame 17, as per the Tekken Chicken app. Now rage art, although it looks like a throw, it is blockable. And rage drive, it's also blockable of course. And they're both mids, so you can't duck them. If we look a little bit further now, if you do a rage art, so I'm setting the AI to do the rage art. If you do a rage art and it's blocked, it is very negative. Most in the game are. For Nina's, it's negative 22, which means she can get a 19 frame punish very easily. That's me demonstrating the power crush, and it's not a typical power crush, so with a rage art, even a low will not break the power crush. So after the 8th frame, nothing can beat it. No attack can beat it. Now if we go to the rage drive, when look, you'll see if you just do the rage drive forward 2+3, you're too far away to really get any sort of pressure afterwards. If you do the down forward and go into the quarter circle forward motion, you're very plus. So I'm using an instant while standing 1 there, so just pressing 1 after the down forward. They say about plus 28 after this, and I'm doing anything here, standing block, sidestepping, backdashing. Nothing will get me away from the while standing 1, so you just have to block it there. You can't step it, you can't do anything. You can't reversal it either because of the frame advantage. Likewise, if you use a throw in this situation, so the quarter circle forward 1+2 or 3+4, you can't sidestep it, you can't backdash it, you can't sidestep it in either direction. All you can do is either stand block and break or duck it. So you can see here already how rage drive can be used for good pressure. Now I mentioned before about the rage art hitting power crush. The rage drive, it leaves you very plus on block, but of course the disadvantage is there is no power crush involved. So 20 frame startup, if your opponent does a move that interrupts, or you can use a power crush yourself, it will beat it. And because Nina goes airborne after the 8th frame, did I say? Because she goes airborne, you can actually float. Sorry, the 5th frame. So there are some inherent risks to using both, but you can see how they both have their good comeback factors. Okay, going into the rage art itself. So different ways you can use it. You can use it in a combo, an easy input for damage, or max damage combos. You can use the power crush factor, so the armor, and you can use it as a very easy whiff punish because of its range. Just to be wary, if you just try and go for a basic launch straight into the rage art, because Nina rolls so far forward, it goes a bit funky because of the slow motion and everything, or the cutscene, and it doesn't work. This is different if you stun them, or bound them to the ground like that, where you get the follow-up because they're not linear, you just roll right into them and do the hit. So you can do it straight after an up tilt 2-1, and that's an easy input. A good way to use the rage art though is confirming it off a hit, so you can do things like a sidestep 1+2, do it off a 14 frame punish into the 3+4, and there are tons of things you could do on counter hit into it as well, like a magic 4 into it would work, counter hit 4-3, any sort of counter hit where you can get a follow up, you can usually get the rage art as well as an easy input. You can also use it while baiting, so as you see here, if someone's running up, a lot of the time when people advance, they use a move with a pretty slow animation. So I mean, like Dragonel's while running 2, Nina's while running 1+2, Eni while running 3, it's pretty easy to bait it there and just use the power crush. Just be wary you can be killed during the power crush, you absorb the hit, but it does damage. Here's an example of using it at the end of the combo, so you can see how you can use a tailspin. If you've done a certain number of hits, you can run up and do a move and then do the rage art. And here's just an example showing just the crazy damage that you can get. Because the number of hits, I couldn't run up and get it down to 1. But you can see here, a lot of damage. You've also got to remember when you're doing this, you're going to be low health yourself. Anytime that you're using rage, you're usually a hit away from dying. Okay, anyway, the rage drive. So ways you can use it for the frame advantage, for the mix-ups like I showed before. You can use it for the evasion, and you can use it in combos, either for wall carry or for a wall splat. So as you can do any move from the quarter circle forward, you can see how immediately you've got a good mid-low game that they're forced to respect if they block the rage drive. And hey, if they don't block it, you just get a ton of damage and wall carry from it. So once they're respecting you, you can do things like crouch cancelling, well, sidestep cancelling into moves from the quarter circle forward. You could do it into a sidestep 1 example and go into your sidestep 1 pressure if you like. Looking at the range, it's good range. You see how far it sends them flying? And if they hit a wall during that, they will wall splat. And you've got plenty of time, you can run up and actually continue a wall hit from it. Just want to show you could use the poison mist from here, but if they're just holding back mid-screen, it just avoids it. So unfortunately, it doesn't work too well. Unless you're at the wall, this is where it gets scary. Against the wall, this move bounces, does a little bit of damage, and them holding back won't let them avoid the poison mist, so they have to duck to block it. So you can get a ton of damage. It's a lot scarier if you're using it as wall pressure. Like I said, it can low evade, so from the 5th frame. And you can use it at the end of the combo for wall carry. Nina has such good wall carry though that if you're feeling confident with your wall carry, you don't normally have to use it like this for wall carry, and you can use it on the wall itself for more damage. Example here, using it on the wall, it resplats. And look at that, more than half-life, quite easily there. So it'll just wall splat on the wall normally, on itself, by itself. Or if you do a higher mid splat. Now if you do a sort of move that bounces against the wall, like a forward 3, while standing 1+2, down forward 1+2, anything like that, you can't get a follow up with it. Any move where you'd be able to sidestep and continue a combo away from the wall afterwards, you could not follow up with a rage drive, or more, it won't resplat. Also, if you do it too low, As you can see here, it looks like it's hitting, but it's not actually connecting in the combo, so it won't swap. And here are just some examples of what you can do with it. So after you've done it, depending on the number of hits, it can be quite easy for you to do a sidestep combo yourself. If you do the down forward, it's harder to link, so you can't keep doing the same things. You can get it down 4-1 to a splat. Okay, now I just wanted to show some impractical but flashy things with the beers, while I also just talked about rage itself. So it can be quite smart in some situations to try and allow yourself, when you're low health, just to get the tip of being in rage, because then you can have that comeback factor available to you. It's also quite important that you consider whether or not to just blow your rage out of rage drive right away and lose the rage, or it does increase the damage on all of your attacks, or whether it's smarter for you to just continue using the rage and attacking. Anyway, that's everything for now, so please like and subscribe. I hope you've learned a little bit about rage here. There's a lot I still didn't discuss, of course, but yeah, hopefully. Cheers guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.